In this video, I'm going to teach you how to use the fill stitch. Okay, let's start off with clicking digitize close shape. I'm going to show you guys some examples. I'm going to make a square. Okay, so this square is going to be tatami, and I'm going to show you all different stitch types. Tatami we use for big shapes and small shapes. The satin stitch, I personally only use it for objects that are less than 0.8, but you could either have 0.8 be the height or the width, and the other one could be greater than 0.8. For example, the width, let's say the height is 0.8 and the width is 5. That's fine. Or vice versa, 0.8 and right here be 5. That's fine as well. Let me put it back to 0.5, 0.5. Okay, raised satin, motif, embossed, ripple, contour, cross stitch, stipple, single run, stipple back stitch, stipple stem stitch, blanket, and the lay down stitch. When you start digitizing, the main stitch types that we're going to use is going to be tatami and satin. Tatami and satin. Alright, I'm going to now proceed to show you how we're going to make this small. Alright, now we're going to make the small part of the design. We're going to use digitized blocks, and something I want you guys to remember is each time we make stitches, it's going to be an angle. It's going to go from top to bottom, top to bottom. So right here, left click, and then right here, right click, left click, right click. Each one of these is a stitch angle. Right click, 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 left click, left click, left click, left click, enter. We're going to change this to black, to satin, and now we got our small. Now we're going to make the cheeks. So you could either use circle or digitize close shape. I'm just going to use circle because it's faster. I'm going to show the circle on this one, and the other one I'm going to make manually. Let me try to make it. Press enter. Change it to red. So I'm going to change this to satin. Shift I. Now I'm going to make the other one, but I'm going to make it manually. Right click, right click, right click, right click, enter, enter. Change it to satin. Now I got 2 of the cheeks. Now I got to make the eyes. For the eyes, you notice that we have a big circle and a small circle. What we're going to do is we're going to make the bigger circle tatami and the smaller eye pupil satin. So digitize close shape, right click, right click, right click, right click, enter, enter. Black, tatami. Okay. So now we're going to use the digitize close shape again, and we're going to make the pupil. Enter, enter. Change it to white. Change it to satin. Now we got the left eye, and we have to make the right eye. When it's 2 of the same objects that are the same, you can just click it, click the other object, click critical D, and drag it and drop. Okay, so now we have we used our fill stitches, we use the angles for digitizing blocks, but something that's also very important when you're digitizing using the fill stitch is the angles. So stitching, let me see where it is. Stitch angle 15. Okay, so if you're using 15 for all of your angles, the fill is gonna sink in and it's not gonna look nice. So we're gonna have to decide where we want to change the stitch angles. So I'm gonna select the eyes, both of the eyes, and I'm gonna change it to 135. Or let me see. I'm gonna click H, 25. I'm gonna change it to 5. I'm gonna change these to 35. No, I'm gonna change it to 90. Nope. Let me see what would look better. 35. I'm gonna change these also to 35. There's multiple angles, so it's fine. So now we finished our smiley face. In the next video, I'm gonna teach you how we're gonna make a perfect outline for this part of the sun. Okay, now we're gonna continue and make the perfect outline for the sun. So we're gonna use digitize blocks, and we're gonna find where the tatami ends are at. So all around it, what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna go inside of it. So I'm gonna try to make all of them like 0.05 inside of the tatami stitch, and then 0.05 outside of the tatami stitch. So in total it'll be like 0.1 inch out of for the outlines. So I'm gonna right click, and remember 0.01 minimum. Backspace, and then I'm just gonna adjust. And I'm just gonna press, I'm actually gonna continue. I'm actually gonna go a little bit past it, that way it closes out nice. Enter. I'm gonna change this to black. I'm gonna make sure it's satin. And if you press T, you could see basically our satin stitch is gonna be hugging the tatami, and it's gonna be hugging it by I think it was like 0.05. Yeah, 0.05. And because of that, when you are embroidering, it's not going to have a gap. So this is something that we have to practice. If you're barely learning to digitize, let's practice this frequently, because if you don't, you're gonna notice when you embroider your file, it's gonna have a gap, and nobody likes digitizing files and then embroidering it and having a gap. What we could also do is for this part of the eyes, you could just click critical D and then change the tatami into an outline and change it to satin. Change the size. Where is it at? Is it in the outline? Oh, the width. Okay. So we're gonna on stitch settings, we're gonna change the width to 0.02. Let me see. 0.025. 3. Yeah, we're gonna make it 0.03. So click it, critical D, change it to satin, change it to outline, change it to satin, 0.03. That's what we're gonna leave it at. Using these tools, you're gonna be practicing and you're gonna be getting more artistic on how you want to go about digitizing certain objects. Everybody digitizes differently, but there's like certain fundamentals where you can't forget. Like, for sure, something that's very important is when you're doing the outlines, make sure you're covering the tatami and not having just a regular outline, because if you were to make a regular outline of like this, let's say it was like that, and you're like, oh, I'm barely gonna touch it, like let's say you're barely gonna touch it, right? Because you think it's gonna come out looking ugly or not, you feel like you have to do the design exactly how it is. You don't, because this, it might stitch out nice, but when you pick it up and look at it, there's gonna be gaps, and we don't want gaps. In the next video, I'm gonna teach you how to use the run stitch combined with the fill stitch and the outlines, so we could actually make a proper design. So in the next video, I'm gonna teach you how to make a design. We're gonna probably make Pikachu. Okay, we're actually going to be looking at outlines right now. So before I made this, I should have showed you guys the outlines. So digitize close shape, right click, right click, right click, right click, enter, enter. I'm gonna click it. I'm gonna change it to outline. So for outlines, you could use a single stitch, a triple stitch, a sculpture run, a motif, a back stitch, a stem stitch, a zigzag, the satin, which I prefer, which I mostly use. I either use triple run or a satin for most of my outlines, raised satin, and blanket. Most of the time you're going to use satin, single run, or triple run. The rest are for more artistic designs. With what I just shown you, I'm gonna do this octopus start to finish, so you can see me using several of the tools. We're gonna use digitize blocks. We're gonna start making from the outlines to the fill stitches. So I'm gonna change it to black satin stitch, and I'm gonna start making my blocks. So remember, top to bottom. Each point is an angle point. So the two are basically going to combine. From the top to the bottom, it's going to form an angle point. So let's say I was right click it and I'll leave it like that. This would be an angle point. I'm going to be trying to post 3 videos a week, so you guys could get more familiar with digitizing. So I'm gonna, I ended it right here, but I'm gonna continue making the rest of the outline. And at the end, we're gonna properly sequence it. Right click, right click. Right click, right click, right click, right click. I'm actually gonna do backspace because I want to cover most of it. Right click. And if you guys have any questions, always feel free to reach out and ask me. Enter. So now we have our perfect outline right here. And I'm gonna continue by doing this part of the outlines. Okay. At the end, we're gonna properly sequence it. I'm actually gonna use the digitize open shape in a single run to travel from right here to the top. Digitize blocks. Digitize open shape. The octopus was just a speed run. My next video is going to be Pikachu start to finish, and I'm going to do 2 more digitizing start to finish videos of any design you guys send me. So stay tuned for that.